You may have seen in recent headlines where a jury in Kansas City ruled against NAR and several other real estate companies where the jury awarded $1.8 billion in damages that NAR and these other companies are going to have to be paying to home sellers involved in this class action lawsuit. So maybe you have heard of this, maybe you haven't heard of this. A lot of news outlets are saying that this is going to upend the industry. A lot of people are kind of freaking out about this online. What I'm going to be doing in this video is breaking down what actually is going on, what this means, kind of how we got to this point, and obviously what it means for you as a homeowner or consumer. By the way, if this is your first time to the channel, my name is Daniel Roberts. I'm the principal broker of a small real estate team called the Joyful Roberts Group. We love helping people relocate to Newberg. So if you're planning on moving to Newberg, or maybe you're in Newberg and you need to leave, definitely reach out to us because honestly, our team does an amazing job of taking care of our clients. And by the way, this channel is all about what it's like to live in Newberg. And then from time to time, I post information about real estate. So if either of those things, Newberg or real estate, are things you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. First, to understand what is going on and why, it makes sense to understand how a typical real estate transaction works. So typically, someone's selling their home, they pay a listing agent to help market their home and sell it. Now, often what happens is that the listing agent will also work with a buyer agent. Usually they're not in the same company. So like the buyer agent will come, they'll bring a buyer to the home, and then the listing agent gives part of their commission to that buyer's agent, which we call a BAC, buyer agent commission. Now, what this lawsuit is basically all about is it's saying, well, why should the seller of this home be paying part of the commission to this buyer's agent who's not representing the seller? They're actually representing the buyer, which is, why should they have to pay for part of that? This has been going on a long time. So it's like, this is how the industry's always worked. And there's been pushback over the years, but now it's finally gotten to a point where it made it to court, made it through court, and the jury actually said, yes, these companies, should be doing this. So the reason that they're saying it's not fair is because they're saying, well, NAR, the National Association of Realtors, and these other companies have worked together to collude and essentially artificially inflate what the commissions paid to these buyer agents is. The reason this is happening is because listing agents have not done a good job of explaining to a seller really what's going on, why, or what it's important, and really helping the seller understand that they're in control of what is paid to the buyer's agent. All right, so what does this mean? Well, for now, the NAR and all these other real estate companies have been found guilty of doing this. So they're having to pay $1.8 billion in damages to, I believe it's 500,000 home sellers across the state of Missouri. One of the effects that would have is that buyers would have to pay their real estate agents on their own rather than that money coming from the sale of the home. So there's a lot of different ways this could shake out. But in the meantime, NAR and these other real estate companies are appealing the case. They're saying, hey, you didn't take everything into account. So they're trying to get into higher courts. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this landed in the Supreme Court. That could take months or years. So there's a lot of attorneys around the area, or I guess around the country, who are saying this is kind of like a halftime, meaning that, up to this point, we've seen a lot happen. This is kind of like an intermission, and then it's going to get maybe even more messy from here. Part of the problem with this is that there's a lot of buyer agents who don't actually have representation agreements signed with their buyers. I've never quite understood this. This always seems strange that buyer agents just assume that they're going to get paid when a home sells, even with no agreement with the person they're actually representing. So this has always seemed kind of wrong to me personally. So I kind of agree in some ways with what's happening here. For example, what we do and what most professional real estate agents do is they sign a representation agreement with the buyer and they say, hey, when we help you buy a home, you're contractually agreeing to pay us, whether it's 2%, 2.5%, 3%, whatever it might be for that agent. And then out of that, money usually comes from the sale of the home, like we talked about before. So the listing agent pays that buyer agent. But say the listing agent is not offering very much commission, say they're saying 1% of the sale price, then the buyer has to make up that difference in paying the buyer's agent. So this is how it should work. And really, a seller can decide, do I want to offer a compensation to a buyer's agent to bring the buyers, or do I want to lower that? So the risk of a seller lowering that commission is that it means their home is then less affordable to buyers, because buyers then have those extra costs as a part of their closing costs. So I know it's kind of convoluted. We're actually coming out with a blog that will explain some of this. So once that blog is out, I'll have that link in the comments. Then you can read how some of these things work, because it can be kind of a lot to digest all at once. I've been doing a lot of research. It's hard to break it down just in a short video. The bottom line is that NAR and these other real estate companies are going to appeal this. This is probably not over, and it's yet to be determined what is actually going to happen with this whole lawsuit. So if you have questions about this, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to talk about it and share what this means for the industry, what this means for like commissions and breakdown and structure, why things work the way they do. And, I think this is an important discussion to be having. Ultimately, my hope is that this is a better move for the consumer. Whatever happens, I hope that the consumer benefits. Really, I think it'll increase competition among real estate agents. It'll make real estate agents up their game and be more professional, which I think we all could agree could happen. So I'm curious personally to see how this works out. And I hope that it ultimately ends up being a good thing for the industry, for home buyers, for home sellers across the board. Well, if you're interested in more videos like this, you can go ahead and check out one of the videos coming up. We also have tons of videos about Newberg, about the buying, selling process, whatever you're interested in. I'm sure we have it on our channel, but I'd also love to hear some thoughts from you. What kind of videos you'd like to see on this channel? So go ahead and leave a comment below. And also, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on what's going on right now. If you're familiar with what's going on, leave a comment in the comment section. We'd love to hear your thoughts and be happy to share my opinion with you. I'm always happy to discuss these things. Well, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.